as you can see, it's frosted. I mean, it's frost. I have to scratch it off with my nail. Hey everyone, my name's Cameron. I'm going to be doing a review on the Forced Inductions Interchiller system on a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. It's a stage 2 system. I also have the spacers and the blankets from FI. I did the installation myself. A lot of the performance adding parts that I have on the engine and the supercharger was done by Overkill Performance, but the FI Stage 2 system I did prior to sending my vehicle going over there, so I'll kind of just talk through some of the things that I saw that changed after I had the blanket and the spacers, and just kind of go over the install. I'm going to be a little ways away from the vehicle because I do have catless mids, so it's a little loud. It's on the stock exhaust. I had the Solo Performance exhaust previously. It was a little bit too loud for my liking with the catless mids, so now with the catless mids and the stock exhaust, for me it's perfect. It's not crazy loud, but at wide open throttle it has it definitely turns some heads, along with the supercharger one with that JLT intake. So some of the modifications or upgrades I've done to the Trackhawk, I have a 2.8 pulley from Overkill Performance. It's their OP 2.8. Running it with E85 Flex Tune, so I can do any, I have 1300 ID 1300 injectors with a BAP and everything, but with the Flex Tune I can run anything like 90, because here in California we only have 91, so it's not the best gas, so I pretty much always just run E85. But again, I do have a Flex Tune just so that way in the case I need to go fill up with some 91, I can and not have to worry about the vehicle messing up. So I did the stage 2 install myself. It probably took me about, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 hours, I'd say total. I've never touched an AC system before. I mean, I've recharged one with like one of those bottles that you get from just the auto store, not on this vehicle, but on simpler vehicles. But I've never purged a system, I've never vacuumed a system, I've never refilled a system, let alone tapped into a system. So this was all new grounds, but like I said, I took my time. FI provides all of the details through a USB stick, and FI is available like 24/7. It's crazy. I mean, this guy's, this company works out of Australia, but he was available at every hour. I mean, I obviously tried to call him at times that were like the morning for him, maybe later at night for me here on the West Coast in the United States, but he was available all the time. Customer service was unbelievable, especially when it came to the system for recharging it. I wanted to make sure I had vacuumed everything out. I just had a local shop here that I live next to remove the 1234YF. I wanted to refill it with 134A just because it runs colder. It's also not flammable. So I did the recharge myself, and honestly with the system, I want to say it's colder than it was before. It just is amazing how much it works. I think I'm able to use tools. It's not like I'm a mechanic, but I can turn a wrench if I need to. But again, just very simple tools, and I was able to do it 8 to 10 hours. If I had to do it again, now that I know what to do, I probably could do it like within 5-6 hours, easy, because just now I know where to go, where to tap into. I know some of the gotchas with it, can be better prepared, so on and so forth. But I mean, honestly, from preparation, FI gives you everything you need. Gives you the fittings, gives you the instructions, tells you exactly where to go. to work around in the vehicle, where you're supposed to tap into, how to purge it, you know, what type of electricity from a fuse perspective you need to provide to the system if you have the switch to go on between, you know, with the stage 1, stage 2, whether I want to go full interchiller or with cabin and interchiller. They provide everything. I mean, even the insulation tubing and all that stuff. I did a little bit more insulation just because I wanted it to be, you know, fully cold. So I did a little bit above and beyond. But really simple system. Typically before the FI system, you know, just it's sitting here as it has been for the last, I mean, I had it running for about 10 minutes before this, so 16 minutes now. It would have probably be around 100, 110, 115 degrees F. The supercharger fluid, intercooler fluid. So, but we'll see in a minute, like how low it's gonna get. I mean, it's probably gonna be in the 20s right now because I have it just on the interchiller without using the cabin. But before any of that stuff was installed, before the stage 2, I would easily see 100 and something degrees F. It would get heat soaked. I mean, let's just say it, plain and simple. 2018, that doesn't have, you know, the capabilities to get really cold. It would get heat soaked. So now with the spacer and the blanket and the stage 2 system with cabin AC going, that's very cold on a 90-degree day, and it cooling down the supercharger, the coolant is easily between 42 to 46 degrees F, just cruising around. And that's with the cabin. With removing the cabin, you're looking about, my best I've got was about 18 to 19 degrees F on a 90 degree day. Right now it's about 81 outside, 80 degrees, but we're gonna see as I move forward here, you're gonna see the lines are frozen. I mean, it's super cool. This, imagine this being in a staging lane. You've done you've done your pass. You no longer have to just put an ice bag on there. You literally just flip a switch, divert all of that AC to the system, and you got a super cooled supercharger. So it's gonna be loud, but as you can see, it's frosted. I mean, it's frost. I have to scratch it off with my nail. You can. It's just crazy. Now, I was telling you, 100 and something degrees F normally, very hot. It's cold. I can just leave my hand on here. I need to actually warm it up because it's a little bit cool. I mean, it's crazy. The blanket, the spacers, and in conjunction with the stage 2 system, or the FI system in general, it's insane. I mean, it's already frozen frost. I mean, so if we look now, and I go over into the cab, and let's see what those temperatures are. So yeah, IC is hovering between 21 and 23 degrees F, and it's just sitting here. Imagine just like driving. What, I mean, it's gonna be low. Could be lower. Like I said, I got 19 degrees before. So it's amazing. I mean, 81 degrees. The IAT, again, just sitting here, 77. It's been sitting here for about 20 minutes now, maybe 20, 25 minutes, just sitting here. IAT 77. The IC coolant temp 21, 23. Not driving, just sitting here. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it works really well. So, I mean, it's super easy to install. Again, if I had to do it again, now that I know what I know, easily 6 hours, 5 hours to do myself. And that's, you know, shut down and then turn back up, you know, purge the system, refill the system. That's everything. It's a daily driven Trackhawk. I'm the primary driver on it. I do not baby this thing. I mean, I've been on this tune for over 1.5 years now, and with the FI system for probably 2 years now, and no issues. AC's just as cold as it was when I first. Okay, so we're driving right now. I just wanted, the other video ended abruptly because Siri decided to engage and stop the video. But I just wanted to give a look at what it's nice and cold in the cabin. It's 70 degrees, 8 degrees out right now. I'm just sitting at a light, so of course the IAT is 86. When I start going, it will start dropping again. But as you can see, even with the cabin AC going, nice and cold, I had to turn down the fan because it was actually getting too cold. Because I had it up around 3 or 4 because it was in the 80s earlier. It's 42 to 44 degrees F on the IC coolant temp. If I'm just cruising around here, you're gonna see that it just pretty much hovers in the 40s. I'm running in track mode right now. Again, E85, and the shift points are a little rough. So it's gonna go up, but you know, getting up to speed goes to 50. And you know, we start driving here. So I just did a little pull to about 60, and I mean, it's 51, and it's, you know, still nice and cold. I mean, it does its job. It's, you know, it does what it needs to do. So, you know, it went to 53, and, you know, IAT actually went down because we're driving. But after that pool, we'll stop. Well, let's see. I'll see if I can stop. Let's see if I can stop up here. I'll probably go and try to pull over here. But I mean, you saw I'm not being light on the throttle, and it's still hovering in the 50s. And I'm on track mode. If I put it into sport, it would typically stay in the 40s. But my tune is very aggressive. So it has really long pulls in the throttle, and again, I'm running E85, that smaller pulley, and I'm ported with catless mids. So I just did another little pull to about 70, and I'm at 53 degrees F. So let me pull over here, or actually I'm not gonna pull over here. I'll go another spot just so we can see how it cools down. Like, you know, you do a pull. Now if I did a wide open throttle pull, you know, it'd probably get to about 68. If I went, like, you know, was doing a quarter-mile pull, I should say, it'd get in the 60s, 68. But then you figure you go back, you finished your pull, and now you're, you know, driving back to the staging lane. It's gonna probably be about 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. So I stop here, and I'm just sitting here. And so I'm just sitting here, and I'm at 48, with air. So now I just want to cool this thing down. So I go ahead. I mean, obviously I would have diverted all of the AC even on the pool to colder temperatures. So, but I just wanted to show what it would look like if I switch it over to Interchiller only. So remove the cabin, and you're just kind of sitting here in the staging lanes. So we'll see it start going down. We'll see it start moving here. But obviously, I don't want, it takes about 10-15 minutes to get cold. But you know, at the time that you go in for your next pool, your next quarter mile pool, you'll be well below freezing. So you'll pretty much be ready to go. So I'm gonna stop the recording now, and then I'll do another recording in a minute to show the temps and where we're sitting at. So it's only been 2 minutes and 2 to 3 minutes since I turned on the switch, and you can already see, and maybe you see, I even moved up a little bit, so I drove a little bit, you know, as if you were in the staging lane, and it's already going into the 20s, just within a couple minutes of turning that on. So you saw after I did a wide open throttle pool, got to the upper 50s with the cabin and the interchiller going, but then when I stopped, it started getting back down to the 40s, upper 40s, and then I turned the switch on as if I was in a staging lane. I would have already had the switch on if I did the pool anyway. Like I said, it probably would have shot up to around 60s, but just within that time, 2 to 3 minutes, flipping the switch, diverting all of that AC over to the system, we're at 28 sitting here. So yeah, I mean, it's an amazing system.